talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC Championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe right to the go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a Woozier. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it off to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my favorite money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.
What do we say, Dolph?
They gotta play us! That's right, they gotta play us, and they gotta play Orlando fucking Brown. I'm a little excited still. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Turnipole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Orlando Brown and the back-to-back AFC North champion Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 2,148 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification. So every time I go live, like last night when we signed Orlando Brown, you'll be notified. And we're doing Super Chats exclusively in the YouTube chat crew. So if you want to support the show, ask Trag something important, ask Kayla something important, give me a super chat. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm Cody from this glorious place down here, the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. So if you have a rental property, you're looking for a house, a condo, apartment. If you got a rental property you just don't want to manage anymore, give T Properties a shot. And you know it. I wear it every day. We got 9. He's the reason Orlando Brown is here. Jackpot Joey. Get your gear there at jackpotjoey9.com. Get the beer at Brink Brewery. Portions of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund and the Joe Burrow Fund. What is up to everybody in the chat? Let's see. Who's in there first? I think Matthew, you're in there. Matthew's in there. Nicholas, Porkchop, Greg, Kenny, Brad. Ken's in there. Zach, Ken, another one. I think that got everybody there. All right. What's up to you guys? Let's get to this thing. First of all, I want to bring in one of my favorite girls from Tigers Talk. She's Kayla. What up?
What up? Who day?
Who day? Now let's get to one of the hardest working men on the Bengals beat, and he's such an awesome dude and always comes to my show almost every time I ask him. He's Trags. What's going on, Trags?
What is up, guys?
Orlando effing Brown.
Yeah, I heard the show intro. I heard it. I can tell you're a little bit pumped and jacked, as Pete Carroll used to say back in New England.
Dude,
pumped and jacked.
I had
Iceman.
no clue. I had no clue we're going to sign him. I mean, when did he come on the radar for the beat writers?
Well, I think there was an inclination or a suspicion that the Bengals were certainly going to try and upgrade their offensive line. I just don't think, given all of the speculation regarding how many extensions there were lined up, proposed for Joe Burrow, Logan Wilson, what were they going to do with somebody like a Von Bell or a Jermaine Pratt? I don't think a lot of people figured that the Bengals would be all in like they were with Orlando Brown. Now, what's interesting to me, guys, is that the contract for Orlando Brown over 4 years is worth $72,000 more than what Jesse Bates got from the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow.
$64 million, $20,000 for Jesse Bates. We're talking total money here.
Right.
Whereas with Orlando Brown, the number being reported out there is $64,092,000. So again, that's $72,000 more for Orlando Brown than for Jesse Bates. And so what you're essentially saying there is the Bengals wanted to prioritize protecting Joe Burrow and getting the tackle position solidified after last year, obviously getting the interior line solidified. They wanted to start on the tackles and getting one of the best in football, one of the guys that a lot of people feel is an up-and-comer, one of the very best tackles in the game in Orlando Brown Jr. on the roster and off a Super Bowl champion. And the Bengals went out and said, we're going to do it. And a couple of things they did here, they don't usually guarantee that type of money. They don't usually guarantee a second year the way they did. And certainly what they're showing here is that they were willing to go all in to get the best tackle on the market, to upgrade the line, to send yet another message to Joe Burrow. Literally, we've got your back. Orlando Brown Jr. is going to be the starting left tackle. That was one of the prerequisites of him signing the deal with the Bengals. He's going to be the left tackle. So what do you do with Jonah Williams and or Lael Collins? Who's going to play right tackle?
Right. That's the $1 million question there. And I mean, me personally, I think you just move Jonah over to right, keep LC as your backup guy. And then if Jonah plays well next year, you let him go. And then LC, you still have LC under contract to be your right tackle next year. That's sounds like a plan to me. I don't know if that's what the Bengals are thinking about doing, but what's your thoughts on that plan, Chags?
I'm going to say that I don't know, frankly, what their plan is with that, because I think they're going to wait and see and make a determination where Lael Collins is in his rehab. Do they even keep Lael Collins on the roster, or is he a salary cap casualty cut after some type of perhaps injury settlement? That could happen to free up some cap space. And obviously, there's a lot of speculation as to what's going to happen with Joe Mixon and his salary cap space. But if you're asking me right now, I think Jonah Williams is going to be the starting right tackle. Of course, what the Bengals did today, that's not going to get nearly as much of the headlines. Cody Ford, he is somebody with NFL experience, also out of the University of Oklahoma, as of course Orlando Brown Jr. is. So Cody Ford is a terrific signing, if you ask me, for 1 year, because it gives you versatility. He can play both interior guard positions, and he can play and has played right tackle with NFL experience with the Cardinals and, of course, the Buffalo Bills.
There you go. Kayla, what do you got? We've been talking for a little while. What do you got? What's your questions or anything for Trags?
I mean, I'm just so excited. I couldn't be more thrilled. I was telling you before the show started, I went to sleep at 10 last night, and I woke up at 5 this morning and had all these texts and all these Twitter notifications, and I've been like high ever since, just like so excited. So yeah, I'm pumped. I am excited to see what else we might do. I think that there's still a lot of good names and needs for the team out there, and lots of time. So
safety, what do you hear the safety market there, Trags? We had Scott came in today, right?
Yeah, he did. And, obviously GJ there's been a lot of speculation on Gardner Johnson out of Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
I think the Eagles are going to, and I haven't checked on the internet in the last hour or so, but if he's still on the market, he's somebody that I think the Bengals would still be interested in. But you do wonder, having spent as much money as they did, over $30 million guaranteed on Orlando Brown Jr., how much is left in terms of free agents that aren't their own. So I think they're going to wait and see how the free agency, how the safety market settles in free agency. I can tell you this, the Bengals know that there were a lot of safeties out on the market. I asked Lou Anarumo the other day, is this a plug and play situation where you can just get any old free safety on the market or any old strong safety to replace Von Bell? And he said, not really. We're looking for different players who have different, particular strengths that they can mold into their system. Certainly, if there's an exceptional player out there that has a skill set that the Bengals don't have and that they could make use of, certainly they would look into doing that. But I think the Bengals, in what Lou Anarumo was talking about on Tuesday, they have their eyes set on about 4 or 5 particular safeties out there, 3 or 4 probably each at free safety and strong safety, and they're going to go from there. We don't know really which way they're leaning right now.
The one thing I thought was interesting, they brought Scott, and Scott, as far as pass production, as far as PFF goes, wasn't very good. And so if you're going to get Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and all these guys, that's something you should be able to. The power, I said pass coverage. Sorry, I said it wrong. But that's something I think you should be pretty good at if you're going to be playing against these elite quarterbacks. Now, Aaron Rodgers might be going to the Jets too, so who knows? Might meet him in the playoffs too. That's one thing that worries me about the guy they brought in. Okay, that's one thing I think that has to be I won't say exceptional, but you got to be pretty good at it as far as that to be the Bengals safety.
I would agree, but I think the Bengals right now are taking their time as they normally do. And that's why, I did write the column yesterday about it's getting late early in free agency for the Bengals because of the names that they lost. And I think a lot of fans were not shocked with Jesse Bates leaving. Nobody was. But when Von Bell went out the door, and that left you with 2 big holes in the back end of your secondary, people started, I think, to get a little bit antsy, like, what are we going to do next year? Dax Hill certainly is going to get the look at the free safety position, but what about Von Bell and everything he brought to the defense? Is Tyson Anderson really the kind of answer that are you ready to trust a second-year player who didn't play snap in his rookie season?
Right.
Spent most of it on IR, of course. So what are they going to do in that particular case? I think Jermaine Pratt coming back is a big deal. I think Pratt has a point to prove. And look, he all but acknowledged in his press conference on Tuesday that if it weren't for Lou Anarumo, he probably wouldn't have re-signed with the Bengals. But with Anarumo coming back, there's a level of trust there. And I think that's a two-way street. Anarumo trusts Jermaine Pratt and Logan Wilson and Akeem Davis-Gaither. And those guys trust Lou, the mad scientist. So the reason I wrote that column is I think people tend to panic when you lose players and the team is making no moves, essentially, with the exception of signing, their own players to 1-year extension, 1-year free agent deals that aren't that big of a deal. The Bengals weren't making a buzz, and I got all these DMs, people killing me in DM. That's not a but killing me on my DM saying, these first couple of days look real bad for the Bengals. Yeah. What are they thinking? And I kept telling them, trying to calm everybody down. They know what they're doing. Yep. They're taking their time. They are not reactionary. And you can criticize the Bengals all you want over the years for the way they've done business. Again, the Orlando Brown free agent signing is yet another example of they're not doing business now the way they have done it in years past. They're much more aggressive. They are much more active in targeting the specific players that they want and making their best bid to get them to town. That is not the way it was before. It was more kind of like, scattershot. You know, we'll shoot all of these pellets out and see what it hits, and then we'll go out in the yard and pick it up and pick up what we hit. That's not their approach now, and I think a lot of fans who are studying what they're doing can see that.
Exactly. What do you got, Kayla?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a huge statement as much as anything, too, with the deal and all the guarantees and signing. I mean, it's just, yeah.
Well, another point, and I see William makes this point. Joe Burrow also attracts a lot of free agents. That is a great point. Orlando Brown Jr. probably is not as interested in signing with the Bengals. There is that aspect of it that we haven't talked about yet, and that is these free agents have to want to sign in Cincinnati.
Right.
And what the Bengals have been able to do in their last 2 years is show the rest of the NFL they're serious about trying to win a Super Bowl. Well, when you're that serious about trying to win a Super Bowl, free agents are going to be like, well, they've come close to winning a ring. I want to get a ring, and I know that they have a vacancy, a need for my skill set. They're much more inclined to sign on the dotted line with your organization.
Exactly. Now, what does this do with the 28th pick overall? Do you still think if Dwan Jones is there, do they still take him? Because I'm a
best player on the board, Iceman.
Yeah. So
that's usually the way that's the way they operate.
So is that Michael Mayer then? Or is
Say that again?
Is that Michael Mayer or Dwan Washington from the tight end from Georgia?
Or the running back Bijan from Texas.
Yeah, if he falls.
If he falls, I mean, I would not hesitate if I were the Bengals to pull the trigger on that, because clearly we've seen now, Travion Williams is back on a 1-year deal, and that's great. And I think he can actually be a good depth running back.
Yes.
He's going to get a bigger role this year, clearly, with Samaje Perine. I think the Samaje Perine loss to Denver, given how little money Denver really spent on him, that's the one that I think shocked a lot of Bengal fans. Like, wait a minute, why aren't we bringing this dude back? Because he was so good in our system, so good in pass pro for Joe Burrow. What are we doing? Like, why are we letting that guy go to the Denver Broncos and not paying him? Well, a day later, we kind of find out why. The Bengals were really very adept, I think, and very savvy in hiding their cards, not letting anybody know, to your point earlier, Ice, that they had this up their sleeve. And I think, this is the way for years that the Patriots worked in free agency. You never knew what player they had their sights set on until they signed that player. And that's kind of the way I felt. I was in Dayton last night covering the first four. And when I saw that, saw the Tom Pelissero tweet at about 9:30 at night, I'm like, oh my God. Every fan did. And all of us on the beat did. And that's the way the Bengals are operating business right now. And I think it's a very good way to operate. But getting back to the Samaje Perine running back situation, Perine's gone. I think Mixon will not be on the roster. That's a guess.
That's what I keep thinking.
Have any, inside information, but I just don't think he's not going to be playing for the Bengals at a $12.8 million cap hit. No way, no how.
So if he's gone, are they drafting? I think they'll draft one, obviously, but are they drafting more in the later rounds, or are they trying to sign somebody outside? You think?
I think they're leaning towards drafting somebody. I don't think they view the running back market as something they're going to spend massive free agent dollars on and cap space on.
Speaking of cap space, there you go. We got a question here from James. How much cap space is left after the two O-line signings? And will they sign Apple or
It'll take me a little while to calculate that.
Because I've wondered that myself. I don't do math. That's why I talk for, I don't say for a living, just talk for fun. I don't do math.
You know what? Give me a second on this, and let's, as we say, stretch it out.
I got you. I can stretch. Okay, let's see here. William here. Do you think Joe Burrow has a lot to say in who they pick? I think they ask his opinion. I don't think he goes there and goes, hey, I want this guy. And
I think he has a bigger voice in free agency than he has the draft, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Burrow's more familiar with from film, studying them, or many of these guys, like let's say an Orlando Brown, even though he didn't go against him. Right. Obviously, Brown is an offensive lineman, but I think Burrow, if he's a guy that's already been in the NFL, he has a bigger voice. In terms of college players and drafting, you have so many scouts in the organization who all they do is watch film, go to games, and evaluate college kids day after day after day, week after week after week. And I think, the Bengals are smart enough, and certainly Joe Burrow is smart enough to let those guys handle that as part of their job. And I don't think he gets as involved in that as he does the NFL free agents.
Exactly. What do you got, Kayla?
Yeah, I mean, I think he should have at least some. I think his opinion should definitely be valued. I'm sure it is, just because he is, he is Joe Burrow. He is our quarterback.
Right. Exactly.
So, I'm going off one of the sites that I use a lot, and it says here, and this jives with what I said earlier about swapping Jesse Bates out for Orlando Brown Jr. Mm-hmm. Bengals still have about $30 million in cap space. Now, that being said, the Bengals will tell you, that there's a big, what's the word I'm looking for? Asterisk by that number. And that asterisk is all of the internal spending that they have to do, both in signing their own rookie draft picks, and money spent during the season on keeping players on the roster. That cuts that number about in half, roughly in half.
Okay.
But that being said, the Bengals still have about $30 million in cap space, and that's third most in the NFL behind the Bears and the Falcons. That's a pretty good number. Again, some of that number could get certainly chewed up by a Joe Burrow extension, by a Logan Wilson extension. We don't know. The Jermaine Pratt deal was a good one for the Bengals because that did not really chew up a lot of the cap space. And, obviously Jermaine Pratt, as we said earlier, he wanted to be back in Cincinnati. He has a chance to win a ring, and he feels this is the best possible place to do it, with number 9 in place and with his defensive coordinator back in place.
Now, I have a question. Some people told me this in the chat on my shows here, and like I said, I don't do numbers, but as far as the Burrow contract comes out, they say a lot of people are saying it won't come out until after April 1st because of the escrow that they would have the money in. There's more there after April 1st.
That's probably right, but I'm not an accountant, and the only people that are truly qualified to handle that are the ones that discussion are accountant people with intimate knowledge of the NFL CBA, and I have neither. So I'm just going to say that's likely the case. I have spoken with team people inside the organization regarding how they view the cap, and I just shared that with you a couple of moments ago. But in specific terms about what kind of money would be available after April 1st versus before April 1st, it would be way too complicated. And the less I say, the better off I am, because the less the chance that I'll be wrong.
Right. Michael here says, wait, that's not the word. Michael says, I'm hearing rumors that Burrow's contract could be 10 years, $530 million. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be a 10-year deal. I think they're going to stretch it out. I think it'd be like Patrick Mahomes contract like that. So you gives them flexibility, front loaded a lot like Orlando Brown's was and like Pratt's was. That's the way they get the money off the books early. Just seems like that's the way they've been doing business. And getting back to what you were saying before, Chags, about how nobody knew anything about Orlando Brown and how that's all changed when Zach Taylor got here. Because I remember last year when we got Kaplan Karras, that was right out of the chute. We got those two. Again, nobody knew anything about it. The only one people knew about was Lael because he was in Cincinnati. That's the only one people knew about that. It
Right.
might happen, and you know how that whole fiasco went, which was fun to follow last year. But I think that's what winning organizations do. Like Bengals, like you said, they would just do a shotgun blast. And most time we would get the free agents, they'd be on the latter end of their careers. They would be the James Harrisons, the AJ Hawks, who were great players in their heyday, and they come here and they ain't got much left. That is
Right.
completely different here. The Bengals have a target where they want like between like 25 and like 27 is about where they want you. And they've stuck with that. And then normally they don't go with the higher tiers. I mean, Orlando Brown is tier 1 guy. It's usually tier 2, tier 3, but they've stuck with their guns and their plan, and they've done an excellent job with it.
Well, I mean, it's as simple as, look, they know what the quote unquote window is, and that's as long as Joe Burrow is in uniform. Well, if Joe Burrow is going to be in uniform, you've got to do everything within your power, within reason also, to get that asset protected. And that's what this has been all about the last 2 off seasons. And, now they have brought in 5 different or 4 different or 5, if you account Cody Ford also in there as well. 5 different offensive linemen. They drafted certainly Cordell Volson, and there have been people I've seen in the chat suggest that they might bump Jonah Williams inside to a guard. I don't think so.
I don't see that here. I think like
Volson played pretty damn well
for
the last half of that season as a rookie offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
You have the interior line all set. Don't have to worry about it, assuming no injury, obviously.
Right.
And
that'd be nice this year.
You do want depth, and part of today's 1-year deal with Cody Ford is getting somebody in there who can play center if Ted Karras goes down or gets hurt, like he did in that playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. You want somebody to be ready at the call, and certainly Trey Hill is somebody that they could plug in to that hole last year, but they'd like somebody in there as well to spell either Cordell Volson or Alex Kappa. I thought Max Sharping did a really good job, really commendable job late in the season in a very difficult spot. But again, I think that just reminded the Bengals that they have to make sure they have as many experienced, competent bodies, qualified bodies in those positions as possible.
So what do you think this means for Akeem Adeniji or Deontay Smith? Are they or cuts? I mean,
on the outside looking in or right on the bubble. That's what it means.
So
they're on the bubble of the roster. And that's where they should be, frankly, fighting for a spot. Maybe they're fighting for a practice squad spot, and there's no shame in that on a Super Bowl caliber roster. There's no shame in that at all. But, teams that compete for Super Bowls, those kind of players usually wind up on the practice squad for a reason, and not on the active roster. And the Bengals want to make sure that they have, as I just said, as many qualified bodies on the roster, even in depth positions, as they can possibly have.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they got to find a backup center. Go ahead, Kayla.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, I feel like I'm feeling a lot better about depth already, even before the draft this year already than I felt last year at this. I mean, I don't know. But to me, I feel like we're doing really well on depth, and I like the guys that they've brought in. So,
and I see the question Ken has about Jackson Carman. I think that's a good question. I think it's an interesting situation. I think he showed enough at the end of last year to say, keep him on the roster somewhere. And if you get into an emergency situation, and let's say an offensive lineman goes down for 2 to 3 weeks, you have him there. He's got experience, playoff experience, Super Bowl experience. He's got all of that, and you can plug him in, and he won't be overwhelmed. Is he going to be as good as Orlando Brown Jr.? No. You're paying Orlando Brown Jr. the money you're paying him to be an elite starting left tackle in the National Football League. That's not what you project Jackson Carman to be. And, that's, again, not insulting Jackson Carman. That's not where he is in his career.
Exactly. Now I have a question. Now, if we're moving Jonah from left to right, which I think we're all in agreement that's what's going to happen, how I know you're not an offensive line expert or anything, but you've
No.
covered it enough. How hard is it? Because you're basically doing everything the opposite hand.
Footwork.
Yeah.
It's all footwork and your hands.
Yeah. How hard is
And-
that to switch, you think?
Well,
I know,
we've asked Frank Pollock that, and he's like that, and that is not something that is routine by any stretch of the imagination. You do have to have somebody who's played both spots, and certainly Jonah did do that at Alabama.
Mhm.
He's capable of doing that. He's a very bright guy. It's just, how ambidextrous is he? Can he see the field the same way on the right side as he does the left side? Does he play, left-sided or right-sided? You have to find those things out. I think the Bengals have a good indication of that already, though. He's going into his 5th NFL season. They don't know that by now. They're never going to know it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And trust me, they know.
Exactly. So I mean, this is got to be one of the deepest offensive lines the Bengals have had probably since the last time we went on our 5-year playoff run, and that's been the biggest problem of the last 2 years. Because, like we said before in this show, if we had a healthy offensive line, we probably got 2 Lombardis. That's where we're at with
one. Yes,
yeah,
I would
least
agree
one.
with that.
That's where we're at with depth of the tackles, and now we got the interior guy. We need to get a center there. Who are some centers out there that on the center market that could possibly come in that the Bengals might be looking at?
Well, I think they got one today. I mean,
Yeah.
Ford.
they
I
got-
thought Ford was mostly just guard. He's a center too.
he
Oh, okay.
is.
Okay, my bad. Okay.
Nope, Cody Ford played center, I believe, with the Bills early in his career, but he does have center experience.
Okay, never mind.
Let me bring up the release here.
Okay.
It says he spent his first 3 seasons with Buffalo, then spent the 22-year with the Arizona Cardinals, has played 49 regular season games, 32 starts, seeing action at right offensive tackle, right guard, and left guard. So no, it does not say center. So sorry about that.
Okay. All right. So, maybe
But
I
think if he's played right guard and left guard, there's a chance in a pinch that he could play center. But he has not played center. I was wrong on that.
All right. Now Ken says here, I do not see us keeping LC for now. See, I don't understand why everyone wants to get rid of LC.
Well, I mean, they get rid of LC because of the cap.
Right.
That's why they get rid of him.
But he's not making that much money. I mean, and it's not that big of a cap hit. I mean, you put him on the
hold on a minute on that.
Let's see. I don't think it is anyway because
I mean,
needs more money
his
if he
cap
plays.
his cap number is significant.
Is it? Okay. Well, never
Yeah,
mind.
it's enough to make a difference.
Okay. Well, then I am wrong there because I thought his cap wasn't that bad because of the money the way his contract was structured. So there could be a chance that they
Hold on a minute.
Yep, I got you. So Kayla, you got Burrow in arms length of you? Is he behind you still?
I've got.
He's still there?
He's saying hi. Yeah, I'm in my sunroom right now because my basement is being renovated, so I don't have my normal setup.
I got it. It looks nice there. You're in the hills of Kentucky.
Yeah, sure I am. Bluegrass state.
Exactly. All right, let's see here. Ken, draft Juice Struggs, center from Penn State, 5th round. That could be a possibility if they do that because they have to get.
I think they're going either now. I think they're going either running back, tight end, or safety.
Yeah. I hope we don't have to go to the draft needing a safety. I don't see how that's possible. So how many are still out there? But
no, that's a fair point, and I think you would not expect a rookie strong safety to come in and start right away unless he's an exceptional.
Right, exactly. So that's where they gotta sign one of these guys. There's enough of them out there. I like Rapp. That's who I like.
He's visiting the Patriots, right?
You might be right on that. I'm not sure.
Okay, so if the Bengals were to cut Lael Collins after June 1st, they save $7.7 million in cap.
Okay.
So that's a significant number.
Yeah.
Ice.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is.
That is not a number to sneeze at. And if you throw that in with the over $10 million you'd get from cutting Joe Mixon, that's $17.7 million in cap space.
Yeah. Ooh.
And, people have, looked at sites and gone, well, they could cut Trey Hendrickson and DJ Ribble. They're not going to cut Reeder or Hendrickson. They're just not going to do that. You'd save $10 million with Mixon. You'd save, and here's a name, and they're not going to do this either. And people, please don't lose your minds. Tyler Boyd, if they were to cut Tyler Boyd post June 1st, they'd save $8.9 million.
Woo!
Yeah. So would they restructure that? I doubt it. I think they're happy with, they don't like kicking the can down the road. No. The money bomb's going to go off. They just want to make sure they control when it goes off, and they would rather pay the player now than kick the can down the road and have it go off and at a time that hurts them more. So I do not see Tyler Boyd getting cut.
All right. So
don't worry about that.
Real quick, you've been out for 30 minutes, and I appreciate it. I know you're a hardworking guy. I have one more question. I'll let you go. Mixon, do you? Yeah. Are you more of? I think you said you think he's going to get cut, but do you think they might cut him or restructure him? Where are you at on Mixon?
Oh boy, I think they would approach him first with a restructure, assuming that the legal situation works itself out. Okay, we have to. That is another factor that is definitely at play here. We have to understand what's going on legally with him,
right?
And if that washes out and resolves, then you say, okay, here's what we really can afford to pay you, Joe. And if you can't, and if you don't want to take it, understood. And understand that the Bengals usually don't restructure, and they don't.
Yeah. Well, they usually don't sign guys like Orlando Brown either.
Right. That's correct. But if they don't find a running back out there to their liking, or they don't come up, hit it big in the draft, but I think it depends on what happens in the draft.
Yeah.
And
this is something you don't think anything's happening until after the draft.
Probably not.
Okay.
Because
that makes sense.
I mean, unless they're aware of something legally that impacts their cap structure, right? I mean, if there's something that they know legally with regard to a behavioral clause in his contract that would free them of an obligation. Let's be honest here. If they know something that would free them of a financial obligation, then they would certainly pursue that. But barring anything like that unfolding, and it goes according to chalk, then I think they would take their time, see what happens in the draft, see what happens the rest of free agency, and then move on from there.
Exactly. Trags, you give me 37 minutes. I appreciate you. I know you're a busy guy, and dude, honestly, I really do appreciate you coming on when you can for me. So it does mean a lot to me. But tell everybody about your articles, your podcast, and anything else you want to plug before I let you go.
Sure. It is Trags, TRAGS on Twitter, Trags1 on Instagram, CLNS Media for all of my columns, and last but certainly not least, at Jungle Roar Pod on YouTube, my Jungle Roar Podcast YouTube page. Not only my podcast on there, but also all of my Bengal coverage videos and whatnot from press conferences. And we anticipate a press conference before the weekend sometime, of course, with regard to the Bengals' newest starting left tackle, Orlando.
If you ever need an assistant to come into these press conferences, you can always call your boy Ice up. I'll come in and I'll hold the camera for you and help you out.
I got to find a role for you.
I'm here for it. Trags.
All right.
I appreciate you, man.
Take care.
Good work, and thanks for coming on again. Houday.
Take care.
See ya. I love Trags. I literally, it was pure luck. I DM'd him last night. This is before the Orlando Brown thing happened. I said, hey, you got a chance to come on the show today? Yesterday. He said, no, I'd come on tomorrow. I said, cool. And this is just perfect. We got Orlando Brown last night. I'm like, I'm going to have a beat writer on after this. That's awesome. So
timing couldn't have worked out better. I mean, especially like with Cody Ford and everything, like literally minutes before. Crazy.
Yep. I mean, like I said, we got to get a safety. That's the next thing I want. We got to get a safety. And then, honestly, Kayla, if we get a safety and we don't do anything else, we just go to the draft, I'm chill. Good. We'll figure out. We'll find a tight end. we keep mixing, restructure. We'll figure it out. I'm good, but who knows? They might not be done yet. I mean, I don't like really the safety they brought in from the Rams. I don't know how he's going to. I mean, they came in to visit today. I'm not sure how.
I mean, he is a little bit of a ball hawk, right? Like he had some interceptions.
He had some interceptions, but he gets passed on a lot. That's what I don't according to PFF, and I'll take all this information from Dale, so that's where I get it from.
I mean, I don't know that much about him, to be honest. I basically pay attention to the players on our team, and so yeah, it's different, but yeah, they are addressing urgent needs. And I feel like that makes us all feel a lot more at ease. I was not panicked, but then yesterday at like 6:30 or 7, I was like, oh my gosh, I just wish they would do something. I want something to be excited about.
Exactly. That's all. That's what I was telling you. I started watching the Bearcat game. I said, I gotta put my phone down. I said they're going to do something. I had no clue it was going to be Orlando Brown. It wasn't even on my radar. I mean, I jokingly said it on my show or Bengals and Bruins, like, hey, maybe they'll sign Orlando Brown. I was purely kidding. I did not think they'd actually do it. Then Tom Parasale came across Twitter, Bengals signed Orlando Brown. I'm like, what? I completely forgot about the Bearcats game. I know they won. I know they're playing tonight or tomorrow, I think. And I've just, whoa. I just, that's why I titled the show, This Is What All In Means.
Yeah.
We all kept wanting to go all in. What does all in mean? Going and signing Orlando Brown means going all in. You have not only solidified the left tackle with a guy who's a Pro Bowler, with a guy who doesn't miss games. He's started every game for the last 4 years. I mean, he does now. Our luck could come here and get hurt probably, but
don't you say that?
Yeah, no. Exactly. But I mean, that's not easy to find. But that's the thing that they did. I mean, and so the whole thing where everybody's like, well, what do you do, Jonah? You kick him over to tackle. And I had a guy at work say, oh, kick him in the left guard. I'm like, you had Cordell Volks in there, and a rookie, played good. The interior of our line was fine.
Yeah.
The problem was our tackles last year. So you take the weaker one and put them on the right side. You have a great one on the left side. There you go. You got an offensive line that can go win a Super Bowl.
I also really trust Frank. And I guess, I don't know, if he decides that putting Jonah at guard is the best move, I guess I'm fine with it because I trust Frank. But yeah, it seems like putting him on the tackle would be a little bit of an easier transition.
I don't know. See, left guard, you're still doing the same movements. It's just smaller.
Mirrored.
Yeah. So right, you go to tackle, you're doing the opposite. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm big enough to be an offensive lineman, but I never did play it. But, I do want to let everybody know something here, Dad. I announced it yesterday that we're having our first annual Jackpot Joey golf outing. It is sold out, people. You guys are awesome. You sold it out in less than 24 hours. There's some rumors that we might be doing another one come August. So, but you guys can also always come here and just hang out and party with us this day. It's Sunday, May 21st. Benefits go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. So it's going to be at Aston Oaks, hosted by Jackpot Joey Cook, Bridget from Bengals Trailer, also from the #1 Bengals podcast. So if you guys were wondering about that, Trenton Irwin's going to be there. It's sold out. That's to me, that's what's so cool. We have some of the coolest fan bases around. To sell it out that quick in less than 24 hours is ridiculous. So thank you to Houday Nation. And like I said, hopefully I have another one here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's see here. Let me see. Another thing to think about, we signed Henderson at 10:15 on 3/15/21. Signed Brown at 3/15/23 at 10:10. Wow. That's some research right there, Foxy. That I got to give it to you. I had no idea when we signed Trey Henderson.
All right. So in 2025 at 10 o'clock, set your alarm.
Exactly. Good. I have no idea who we're going to sign, but yeah, it'll be somebody. So what do you guys got going on Tigers talk here real quick?
So we're taking a little bit of a break right now since it's the off season. We'll probably do like a special before the draft or maybe right after the draft. We'll see. But we don't have anything official in the works yet. Kind of taking time to enjoy the off season, take a teeny little break. So
I said, I never take a break. Ken, I'm reading the commentary. Ken's like, we just got news. We signed Cody Ford. I'm like, literally, we've been talking about that for 44 minutes, Ken. Have you not been paying attention to what we've been saying? But yes, we did sign him.
Was he in the same draft class as Jonah Williams? Was it that year? The name sounds so familiar.
I looked that up earlier. Let's see here. See what pops up real quick.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I can't because I did look that up. Here's. Let's see here. Yep.
Because his name sounds so familiar, and I remember being very obsessive that year about offensive line when I was looking, because I don't watch college. So I just look at like maybe people we might draft, and his name.
I know someone who might know.
Oh, hey! I just watched your show earlier today.
Wait, you watched? Wait, you watched another show that I wasn't a part of?
Oh wait, but you were on there.
Oh, that's it. I'm everywhere.
So.
Let's see here. With Cody Ford signed, Bengals will have to make some cuts on the O-line. Then, yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Too. Denji might be cut. I mean, look,
it's good just to have competition and to be able to make that choice.
And with these guys, to move these guys to the practice squad, that's depth. I mean, if Denji is on your practice squad, this is a guy who started in a Super Bowl, regardless of how you guys feel about it, started in the Super Bowl, started in the AFC Championship game, and now he's possibly going to be on our practice squad or cut. That's depth right there. I mean,
yeah, it's a good problem to have. Yeah,
that's a great problem to have. Are you going to accidentally speak it into existence? What am I speaking into existence? Oh, you mean this one?
Oh.
For podcast listeners, which I might not be able to put it on the podcast because it's messing up. Dale is making fun of Maddie right now in the group chat. Anyway, Kayla, I appreciate you coming on. I was on for an hour and a half with Dale. I've been on for 46 minutes right here.
Yeah.
You know, if you get old and you sit for a while, things start to hurt. So I got to get up and go do something. But tell everybody where they can follow you. You said a little bit about Tiger Talk. Anything you guys want to plug?
Yeah, so Tigers Talk is the first and only Bengals podcast that's run entirely by women. We do have a couple of male unpaid interns, but besides that,
guy with the big beard, that guy.
Yeah. So we are taking a little break right now, but you can find us on YouTube and on Twitter at Tigers Talk Pod, and then you can follow me on Twitter, and my handle is K-Swabs.
There you go. She's got it right there. All right, Kayla, appreciate you. I can't wait to hang out and tailgate with you. I'm ready for the season to start now. Like, let's go. I'm ready.
I know. I wish they were playing tomorrow.
Me too. All right.
Thanks for having me on. Who Day.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. And Trags on, had Kayla on. This has been an unbelievable 24 hours. We signed Orlando fucking Brown. Orlando Brown. I can't believe this. Let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream, and I appreciate every single one of them. I don't think we were saying you guys are trying to give Dale a heart attack in the group chat, in the chat crew here, because you guys keep talking about your sample. But Facebook groups, Who Day Nation, Who Day Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Radical Reds, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar. And they can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trenopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. I hope to pull the sound off the podcast and put it on there, but like I said, since Spotify bought Anchor, I haven't been able to download anything. So I'm trying to get it on there. So keep an eye out for us on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review so 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, you guys are awesome. Honestly, I did 2 shows yesterday. I had over 200 people, almost damn near 300 people watching them. You guys have been killing up. The highest I was on here right now, we had 73 people watching at one time. You guys have been unbelievable. I appreciate the support. 2,148 subscribers. That is awesome. And now that I'm about to leave, Foxy's giving me a $2 super chat. So I I appreciate it. Thanks, Foxy, for the $2 super chat. I wasn't complaining. Dale was the one complaining. He's mad at Arrow because Arrow doesn't give him any of the money that me and Dale generate while we're on his show for the super chat. So there you go. Anyway, appreciate it. $2. $2 there. Foxy, just like that, you give me super chat and you can support what I'm doing. Anyway, let's see here. Who do I got on tomorrow? I always have to do this because I scheduled my show out so far. It's St. Patrick's Day. Oh, yeah. We got Jared the Draft Guy coming on tomorrow. So we can pick his brain about what the Bengals might do at 28 now with Orlando Brown being our left tackle. And who knows? Maybe I come back on tomorrow. Maybe I come back on tonight. Maybe there's an emergency pod tonight. Who knows? That's why you should subscribe, because maybe we saw a safety. Maybe I go nuts at 10 o'clock again. You never know. It could happen. Lots of things could happen. We're getting out Lombardi. Bet money on it. We're getting out Lombardi. Ready? That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe Roger to go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a woozy. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it off to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my favorite money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.
What do we say, dog? They gotta